Oh, well, good morning, everybody. No script, and of course, but there's a lot to talk about. Sunday the 20th of December, and many of you have been informed already, in a sense, that our much anticipated exciting trip really down to South Australia is off, and I'm going to issue this as a warning, a very stern and strong warning to anybody who is attracted to cheap airfares. Don't get them if you want, unless you want to cancel and leave and lose all your money. We've got, I won't go into exact figures, but we've got several $100s worth of airfares and to hotel bookings that were non-refundable anyway when they were booked, by the way, in Victor Harbour. They've gone down the drain. Now, the train trip that we had booked for the 13th of January from Sydney to Brisbane will be altered. I will do the trip myself, but it will be at the end of March at this stage. I'll book that very soon, perhaps even today or tomorrow. And I will go down to Sydney for about a week. The whole trip will last about a week, in other words, one Saturday to the following Saturday, and do what I normally do, go and see friends and travel around and so forth. Now, as for the other trip, as I said, it's gone, and I'd say please be warned. The airlines have said no alterations to any tickets you've got and no refunds, and now we've got possible border closures again, lockdowns in Sydney on the northern beaches and probably lots of other places, because the COVIDs have got out and gone to Penrith, and they've gone to Cronulla, and they've gone to other places that some of my friends are interstate and overseas don't know much about, but they're all over Sydney. In other words, it's all over Sydney, and there's no telling where this is going to stop, in a sense. As I was saying in my Facebook group, and I've said to our daughter Cheryl, this will all go to our family and friends, the talk by the Japanese Prime Minister and others of July 2021 for the Olympics in Tokyo is a pipe dream, is highly unlikely to occur, and the whole world is going to be vaccinated. Now, I won't go into conspiracy theories and other things right now on that subject, of course, but I will say one thing. My knowledge on it, or through videos that I've seen by doctors of high standing and technicians and or medical people of high standing, is the vaccinations will never, and I do repeat, never stop COVID-19. What they're designed to do is to reduce the symptoms by 95%, or some of them are claiming 95%. Now, you can be cynical and say, oh, is that all it is? It's like taking a permanent Codral. Well, in a way, yes. But in a way, and I'm not an anti-vaxxer if the vaccines work and they're safe and well tested for years, as they should be, but in this case they're not. So it's got nothing to do with being conspiracy theories or anything else. Just I'm taking personal precautions against it for the time being, and maybe for quite some time, to see it all working perfectly well before I even consider it. It's all very well having the Vice President of the United States go out and get a public jab, and to get others get a public jab. They might get an unexpected, unwanted, shall we say, overreaction. They could be killed, quite literally, or they could get severe problems. But we'll get off that subject in a sense, other than saying just be warned about it, take your time, don't go rushing out and get it. although I know some people that will. Now, just briefly talking again about the travel, as I say, I've outlined what I might like to do, but I would also say, because it's a live booking, in other words, I booked something for end of March, if everything's calm and quiet with regards to the COVIDs, I'll do the trip. If they're still flaring up here and there, I'll delay the trip to later in the year. Because I wouldn't want to go down in winter, I'd probably make it about September or something like that. I'm hopeful this time though that March should be okay. I want to try and get it done, and I want to get it over with. Now, other trips that I've got planned, this is for the general interest, is in Queensland later in next year, in probably the middle of the year, would be, and this is only of interest to rail and transport enthusiasts, you might say, but would be Brisbane up to Mackay on a Monday on the Spirit of Queensland with a rail bed. I get there pretty early in the morning, about 4 or so, but there's a bus into town. Bakery would open up, and so I look around Mackay, and there's a bus down in the afternoon to Emerald on a Tuesday, or 7 days a week, but I go on a Tuesday. Then on Wednesday morning there's the Spirit of the Outback, and I'd go out as far as Barcaldine in economy class in a seat, because it's daylight. And then on the Thursday get first class with a sleeper and go Barcaldine to Brisbane, getting there Friday. That's just the idea at the moment, so the middle of the year. For those interested in that kind of travel options, there you go. In other words, it's a little thing to put in the back of your mind to do if you want to, because I think, as I said, a transport enthusiast and a trained, people someone who enjoys that kind of travel, that's worthwhile considering. Well, there's a lot going on, but at the present time, I just like to apologise. I'm so deeply sorry to friends like Faye in Adelaide, who I wanted to see, and I had ideas about going across to Victoria and seeing my brother Chris, and also our son Alfie. That's not on for numerous reasons, mainly because everything is in a completely unknown and fluid situation regarding COVID-19. We just don't know when things will flare up, and it might be some time before I get down that way, because, as I said, there's a plan to vaccinate 85% of the population. Well, good luck with that. That's fine, they can do that. Then travel will be freed up, and everything will, suddenly COVID-19 won't even be mentioned, because, as I said, you can't get rid of it. It's like the common cold or common flus and that sort of thing, which we're having 1,500 people a year dying from them, and up to 3,000 on a bad year. All of that will just go into the one mix, and they'll get their money out of their vaccinations, their billions. But I'm saying, you might think, oh, you've been cynical. Well, you please yourself with that. I'm going to wait for the testing to be proven. In other words, on these things, I'm not rushing out. I don't even get a flu vax, because they're only 40% effective. Suddenly we got COVID-19 as 95% effective. Well, actually it's not. As I said, it's effective in reducing symptoms. That's what they were after in the first place, and that's what they're getting. They know they can't cure it. Well, so I've had my bit of a whinge or whine on these things. I'm just sending my greetings, of course, for Christmas and happy, healthy and happy year in 2021 to everybody concerned. I'm just simply sorry that I can't see some of my friends and family at the moment. However, with my friends in Sydney and up around Newcastle, friend Ross, I hope to be able to see you and see John Cowper and of course Clyde, and then of course naturally John Macaroni and others in Sydney, but in March. So okay, so sort of send this off, and we'll talk again at some time.